and welcome to a Kwanzaa keepsake. I'm Malika Lee Whitney, and by now the sounds of Kevin Nathaniel is familiar to many of our regular listeners. If not, Kevin Nathaniel is a versatile, multi-instrumentalist. He has performed with a number of amazing artists from around the world. He's also a composer, and he also works with dancers, and you'll hear his voice a little later in the broadcast, so I want to thank him for welcoming us. I've tried to make this a regular feature of the Kwanzaa year, and now I would like to introduce you to the person who wrote the book. Her name is Malika Gaza, and the name of her book is A Complete Guide for Making Kwanzaa a Part of Your Life. Kwanzaa, from holiday to everyday. We have a studio full of wonderful individuals who have their own credentials to boast and brag about. They include oral historians, storytellers, musicians, sign interpreters, youth, and the multi-hyphenate moi. Good evening to you, my Tefa.
Well, good evening, multi-hyphenate. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
You have the privilege of having your book reissued, so obviously that's a testament to its popularity. And what makes this particular edition different from the first?
Okay. First, the title of the book is Kwanzaa, From Holiday to Everyday. And what is the same, of course, is the thesis of the book is about taking Kwanzaa outside of 1 week of the year and applying the 7 principles throughout the year. And what's different in this one is actually it's just an updated resource section. All the original stories about the wonderful people like G2 and folks that we know, they're all still there, Mam Kuumba and Haki Makabuti, and the types of work that people are doing around the nation for Kwanzaa principles are still there. But where you can go to celebrate Kwanzaa if you're traveling, that's been updated. If you happen to be in Japan or Norway, believe it or not, you can find out where the black people are who are hosting a Kwanzaa celebration that you can go to. Or if you're going to Tanzania or France or England or all across the United States, that's been updated. The Kwanzaa resource section that talks about gifts, what kind of books you can buy for adults or for children, what new films have come out that make great gifts, and music, of course.
And the founder of Kwanzaa, which is now more than 50 years young.
53 years.
53 years, will be in the city as he returns, and that is Dr. Malana Karenga.
Yes.
For you, how are the applications of the values and principles that are expressed through Kwanzaa being actually applied today? Because after a while, sometimes owing to technology and other innovations, we move past the traditional. And I'm going to bring Sister Khadija Mateen in on this, Dr. Mateen, I should say, to also add, but I'd like you to respond initially.
Okay. Well, yeah, on the way over here, I was actually jotting down a couple of things that are current, that relate to exactly what you're talking about. For example, Sister Tarana Burke, who has just become internationally influential. She is an example of Kudijakalia and Ujima, which is self-determination and collective work and responsibility. And her impact, she started out trying to help women, and particularly young girls who had been sexually assaulted. And the purity of her purpose, she had been doing this work for years with no recognition. And all of a sudden, in the midst of other things that were coming out, we could name some names. We could name Bill Cosby, we could name Harvey Weinstein. But because other people
I want to keep the program pure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll bring out the air freshener. So,
Sister Khadija, let me jump in here before I go off. And what I also wanted to say is the fact that you have broadened the conversation, and that's why we're gathered here in community this evening, because these are real, true perspectives. I mean, I'll be reading from a page-long list of events that actually also include a Kwanzaa crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen that advertised.
Yeah, I know about the
Okay.
Kwanzaa cloth.
But Khadija, that question about practical applications, especially as one who documents history.
I like the idea that we're even going to talk about the practical application, which is why when Moitefa first came out with a book, I was like, yes, because the principles, they're not just something you tag on, they're not ornaments. They're before you make a decision about the kind of business you're going to have, or even in terms of like today, the principle of Umoja, what is the nature of the relationships that you are involved in? Whether it's business, whether it's personal, that there's this energy, this historical and social and political awareness that needs to go into how that's made up. And that is what makes Kwanzaa so significant.
Speaking of keeping things pure, now more than ever, and that one who does everything on a daily basis shall not be mentioned in this program. In a place where he should not be. So let me put that out there. And what we have to do as a people to make those principles a reality in our daily lives so that we feel empowered to change people and positions when we need to. And on that note, we have a young person in the studio with us. Her name is Raven Savannah Taylor. And I'm going to ask if you would read the 7 principles of Kwanzaa as we discuss, and perhaps share the one that impacts you the most, or the one that you feel connected to. Step right up to the mic.
Umoja, unity. Kojo Jakalia, self-determination. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Nia, purpose. Huamba, creativity. Imani, faith.
And when we were speaking off mic earlier, you mentioned Kuchijakalia resonated with you. Why?
It resonates with me because I will not let anybody define who I am or who I will become.
Said very simply.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a long-lived individual to be so young. You know, they cut to the chase now. You know, we go around and around and around and they get to the point. So I have to say, you didn't just get here, but your assistance was ably supported by none other than Kathleen Taylor, the magnificent sign interpreter, among other things, educator, and one who serves community in so many ways. And please mention your school, because somebody might be listening. I mentioned this to you once before. He said, you didn't tell us that you're a student at where?
Okay,
And your grade.
Oh, okay. My school is Urban Assembly School for Criminal Justice, and I am in 7th grade.
And it's a little early to set your focus on aspirations, but are you leaning toward any particular profession now in your young life?
Yes. I would like to be a dancer.
You got moves.
Yes.
All right, well, we hope to see that at some point in time. Can we take a brief break, perhaps with my friendly pitch, and then we're going to invite Kevin to return to the microphone for transition and a little word about himself. And we have Alexander Eliza awaiting. That's our storyteller, but he's more than that. He's also an actor. He has a wonderful voice over quality. And we'll hear about his craft as well. Stay tuned. This is listener-sponsored WBAI Radio, 99.5 FM on your dial. We're here in New York City, and we are streaming on the World Wide Web at WBAI.org.